It's time to take a closer look at Mark's arrangement of scenes. So throw out graphic divisions like chapter and verse as indications of the book's plan, and listen instead to what Mark says. Mark wrote specifically for hearers and weaves his organization into the very words of his story. Let's start by reading Mark 1 through 15. Hear any repeated words? Gospel and or good news, messenger or angelos in Greek, which is the same word for angel, wilderness, the phrase baptized by him, John, in the Jordan, Spirit. Now consider where they occur. The words in the first section are repeated in a fourth, and the ones in the second are repeated in a third. It's an A-B-B-A sequence. Though on the surface the story unfolds in a linear progression, the repetition creates an underlying pattern which packages these scenes together and in turn points to the start of a new unit. Do you hear any more repetitions in the scenes that follow? Mention of Jesus preaching in Galilee and the naming of Peter, Andrew, James, and John? Where do they occur? Concentrically around Jesus' ministry in the synagogue. It's an A-B-C-B-A pattern. Once again, the echoes signal to a listening audience the unit's beginning and end. Mark creates still a third sequence in the 5 stories after that. Echoes appear at the outer limits in Jesus' cleansing of the leper and his healing of the man with the withered hand. In both stories, we find the phrase, stretched out his, your hand, and the mention of Jesus becoming angry. Now, most translations of Jesus' encounter with the leper still say Jesus was moved with compassion. But the majority of scholars today have come to the conclusion that Mark originally said angry, and that, incidentally, finds a correspondence in the later scene when Jesus becomes angry at the religious leaders. Echoes within these 5 accounts also occur in the second and fourth stories. The story of Jesus forgiving the paralytic, and the account of the disciples picking grain on the Sabbath. In both scenes, Jesus uniquely cites his authority as the Son of Man. Again, these echoes appear concentrically around a center, Jesus' calling of Levi, and are packaged together in an A-B-C-B-A sequence. It's here at the end of the third sequence where we encounter Mark's inciting incident, the first indications of a plot to destroy Jesus. But Mark further emphasizes this narrative turn by packaging these 3 sequences together, revealing in this turn a termination to this larger unit. We see this in the express parallels between the beginning of the first sequence and the end of the third. In chapter 3, Mark summarized the effects of Jesus' ministry, stating that the people came from Judea, Jerusalem, Idumea, and the regions across the Jordan and around Tyre and Sidon. 3 of these place names, Jerusalem, Judea, and Jordan, appear in a remarkably similar summary of the Baptist ministry at the beginning of the gospel, though we don't hear them mentioned elsewhere together. And it's here we find another parallel. Immediately before Mark introduces John the Baptist, he tells us that Jesus is the Son of God, a title which we've already seen is extremely significant, though it's only repeated 3 times in this form. The termination of these 3 sequences, simultaneous with the first mention of a plot to destroy Jesus, marks this point as a major turning in the narrative. In the next episode, we'll explore where the turn leads and how Mark builds his story to the next point. See you then. Hey, thanks for stopping by. If you liked what you saw and you want to see more, we'd really appreciate it if you just like, comment, and share. It's encouragement to me and also the people I work with. Thank you very much.